Good evening. You're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's start with our top story. The central government has today banned the PFI and its associates for 5 years under the UAPA, which is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, over alleged terror activities. Now, a government notification alleged that the Muslim organization, along with its 8 affiliates or fronts, have been involved in violent terrorist activities, allegedly with an intent to create a reign of terror in the country, thereby endangering the security and public order of the state. Now, this comes after massive countrywide anti terror raids by the NIA and the ED on PFI leaders. Over 250 people linked to the Popular Front of India and its political outfit, Social Democratic Party of India, have been arrested for allegedly having terror links. Now, the centre had said that a recommendation to ban the organization was given by the state governments of Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and Gujarat. In the meantime, the group reacted to the ban, saying that as law abiding citizens of the country, and I quote, the organization accepts the decision, end quote. Now, the PFI Kerala State General Secretary also informed that the PFI has been dissolved in view of the central government's decision to declare it illegal. Moving on now, an update on the Gujarat riots forgery case. The Gujarat High Court granted interim bail to former Director General of Police R.B. Sreekumar in a case of alleged forgery and fabrication of evidence, in which activist Teesta Setalvad is one of the co-accused. Now, the police have accused Sreekumar Setalvad and former Indian Police Service officer Sanjeev Bhatt of fabricating evidence pertaining to the 2002 Gujarat riots to destabilize the state government. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat at that time. The next hearing will be held on the 15th of November. Meanwhile, in a statement, a group of human rights activists, former civil servants, and artists urged the government to revoke the Remission of Bilkis Bano case convicts. Now, they said that the release of all 11 men convicted of rape and murder in the Bilkis Bano case sets an inhumane and immoral precedent. Now, Bilkis Bano rape case was one of the most horrific cases in the 2002 Gujarat riots. She was gang raped when she was 19-year-old and 3 months pregnant. Her 14-year family members, including her 3-year-old daughter, were killed. On 15th of August, the convicts were released from Agodhra jail after the Gujarat government approved their application under its remission policy. Moving on now, according to ANI, AAP MLA Amanatullah Khan was granted bail today in a case of alleged irregularities in appointments and misappropriation of funds in the Delhi Waqf Board. Now, he was arrested on September 16th. The anti-corruption branch that reports to Delhi LG alleged that Amanatullah Khan had rented out some properties of the Delhi Waqf Board arbitrarily. In fact, the agency also alleged that Khan and those close to him reaped benefits of these rent deals. However, the judge pointed out that the documents submitted by the anti-corruption branch did not prove that the deals resulted in any losses for the board. Trigger warning for people who are watching right now. The next story involves sexual assault and POCSO case. Lingayat seer Shivamurthy Muruga Sharanaru was denied bail by a Karnataka court in a case where he has been accused of sexually assaulting minor girls. He was arrested on the 1st of September. He was booked under the POCSO Act after 2 schoolgirls alleged that the seer sexually abused them for years during their stay at the seminary hostel. Now, in their complaints, the girl had told the police that Sharanaru would call them to his chambers on some pretext and sexually assault them. They alleged that the seer had been assaulting one of them for the past 3.5 years and the other for the past 1.5 years. Moving on to news from Jammu and Kashmir. According to PTI, a suspected militant allegedly having links with terror group Jaish-e-Muhammad was killed in a gunfight in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam on Monday night. According to ANI, 1 soldier of the Indian Army and 2 civilians were injured in the gunfight. Also, in other news, the centre has named Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan, retired, the new Chief of Defense Staff. Now, this comes 9 months after General Bipin Rawat's death in a helicopter crash. Lieutenant General Chauhan had retired as Eastern Command Chief on May 2021. In fact, he's held several command, staff, and instrumental appointments and had extensive experience in counter-insurgency operations in Jammu and Kashmir and the Northeast as well. Trigger warning for people who are watching right now. The next story is extremely disturbing. It comes in from Jharkhand. 4 members of a family were tortured and forced to eat human excreta after being accused of witchcraft in Jharkhand's Dhumka district. They were tortured by a group of villagers with a hot iron rod. The incident occurred in the Aswari village in the jurisdiction of the Saraya Hut police station on the 25th of September. The police have arrested 6 people in this case. They have been booked under sections of the Indian Penal Code about attempted murder, house trespass, wrongful restraint, voluntarily causing hurt and causing grievous hurt, as well as sections of the Prevention of Witchcraft Act. Moving on now to business news. The rupee has plunged 37 paise to close at an all-time low of 81.90 rupees against the US dollar today. It had breached the 81 rupee mark for the first time on the 23rd of September. In the intraday trade, the rupee slipped below the 82 level for the first time against the American currency. Moving on now, the Delhi High Court granted a statutory bail to former NSE MD Chitra Ramkrishna and former Group Operating Officer Anand Subramanian in the alleged 2018 co-location scam. Now, the CBI arrested Ramakrishna and Subramanian in March. The case was related to alleged preferential access given to certain traders to the stock exchange's algorithmic trading platform that allowed them to trade before the markets opened. Meanwhile, the centre has approved 4% hike in Dearness Allowance for central government employees. The Dearness relief for central government pensioners has also been increased by 4%. Now, essentially, Dearness Allowance is a cost of living adjustment allowance which the government pays to the employees of the public sector and pensioners as well. The move will come into effect retrospectively from July. In international news, a young Iranian woman whose video of tying her unscarved hair and stepping out to protest against the hijab in Iran went viral has now been reportedly shot. Now, Al Arabiya quoted an Iranian journalist who said that the 20-year-old was shot in the face and neck during protests. Massive protests have rocked Iran for the last 2 weeks. In fact, it spread across the globe right now. After 22-year-old Mahsa Amini's death, Amini was arrested by the morality police for improper hijab. She later died. Also in the news, European countries are investigating unexplained gas leaks detected in 2 gas pipelines running from Russia to Germany. Now, the leaks were discovered over the last 2 days in Nord Stream 1 and Stream 2 pipelines. The EU's diplomat has said that any intentional disruption to EU energy networks would meet a robust and united response. Several European officials said sabotage appeared to be the likely cause. Now, Swedish Prime Minister and her Danish counterpart both said the incident was likely deliberate but played down the possibility of a military threat. Now, Kremlin spokesperson in the meantime told reporters, even as allegations come in on who's behind this sabotage that these countries are saying, the Kremlin spokesperson has said, and I quote, "No option can be ruled out right now," end quote. Also, Russia has granted citizenship to former US security contractor Edward Snowden. Now, Snowden has been living in Russia since 2013 to escape prosecution in the US after leaking classified documents detailing government surveillance programs. Now, Russia granted Snowden permanent residency rights in 2020, paving the way for him to obtain Russian citizenship. This comes 9 years after he exposed a scale of secret surveillance operations by the NSA. And in our positive news for the day, Cubans have voted to legalize same sex marriage and adoption as well as surrogate pregnancies in a referendum. Now, the 100-page family code legalizes same sex marriage and civil unions, allows same sex couples to adopt children, and promotes equal sharing of domestic rights and responsibilities between men and women. Now, more than 3.9 million voters, 66.9% of them voted to ratify the new code. In fact, Cuba's government had backed the law change and ran a nationwide campaign urging people to approve it as well. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Before we let you go, a quick reminder, we put out a new video by my colleague Sanchita on the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. It's the second part of the act where she explains about the Supreme Court's review of the PMLA. That's up on our YouTube channel. Do take a look at it and tell us what you thought of it as well. Thank you so much for watching.